on today's show.
Headband Clay makes NBA history, the Milwaukee Bucks stay perfect, and the Kings are good?
Jason Terry joins us to talk about the time he tricked J.R. Smith, if Dirk was the best he played with, and why he wore so many socks.
And are you up or down on the Sixers' new Rocky-inspired jerseys?
It's Tuesday, October 30th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters. I'm J.E. Skeets, that's Tass Mellis, that's the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, that's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, as soon as this show is over, a few of us are headed down to State Farm Arena to catch a little WWE SmackDown Live!
Oh, live.
Yeah, and since we're always asking you guys out there to take fan signs to games, we figured we should do the same, but here's where you come in. We need your help. What would a good starters wrestling sign say? For instance, Skeets has suggested we take one that says, "Give him a wedgie!" Since everybody's wearing tiny shorts and tights anyways, not bad. Personally, I could play up the beard angle, go with something that says, "The other bludgeon brother," or Lee, what if you took a sign that said, "Starters 316 says, that's what I call a very solid play." Whatever it is, though, we need some better signs. So hit us up on Twitter with your best starters wrestling signs. Send them to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
Yeah, all right. Get those tweets in. Should be fun. Okay, we got a fun one tonight. The Jet, Jason Terry, is going to fly by the studio. We're going to get those thumbs flying in the up-down report. We got Lee's very solid play. Lee Ellis 316 says so. But first, a little true or false, because the NBA continues to deliver. TK, you got the questions, we got the answers.
Klay Thompson was hotter than a Dean Ambrose heel turn last night, going for 52 points and knocking down an NBA record 14 threes in a win against the Bulls. But thanks to sportsmanship, Klay was pulled in the third and played just 27 minutes on a night he could have hit 20 threes. True or false? Kerr should have kept Klay in the game.
False.
Light it up, Tass!
I think he did the exact right thing. Let's remember, he got the record.
Yeah.
Okay? He obtained the record.
Sure.
And then, actually, he did stay in another nearly minute after they pulled the other four starters. He played about 50 seconds, and they were up a billion points, so he removed them. What if Klay Thompson gets injured in this game?
Okay, that's fair.
Yes.
That's a fair what if.
He got the record. It's not like he was short or he tied it or, you know, there's lots of time left. I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, the gentleman's rule is that once you're up, you take your starters out. Really, you don't go and...
They were up 90 to 50.
I know.
92 to 50 at halftime.
Well, listen, I've spoken to Kevin McHale about this because he was a former coach, and he and Isaiah Thomas have said in the past as well, you play the full 48 minutes. So, you know what, if you want to go out there and go for the record, there's no rule, there's nothing against doing that, but teams tend to not do it because mainly they want to get their players rest. And this was the third game of a road game for the Warriors. They're heading back home. They've been on the road for a week, so they're going to take him out and rest him. But really, at some point you think a team or a coach is going to say, you know what, go for it. See if you can get 20 or even 25 three-pointers in the game.
I think they were already going for it when he missed four consecutive threes.
Yeah.
They were giving it to him.
When
he was at 13, they gave him 4 consecutive shots, and it was getting a little ridiculous.
No, it was.
But it was hard to watch. I mean, it was obvious they were record hunting. He got it. He played another 50 seconds, which I was kind of surprised by. There was a timeout after the 14. He came out with 4 bench players, played 50 seconds, and then they said, okay. Let's call it here.
I do agree. It's like I wonder how Kerr would have played it if they didn't have that, where Thompson didn't have that little cold streak there where he missed 4 in a row, because it did get a little wild where every single play was just find him. But you've already embarrassed the Bulls for 32 minutes.
Well, they've embarrassed themselves.
What's another 5 or 6? Let's let them go to the end of the third quarter. That, to me, feels like a fair, unwritten rule. No fourth quarter embarrassment, but up until the end of the third should be in play, because he got pulled. I mean, he goes for 52 points, he gets 14 threes, breaks the record, and there was still 5 minutes left there in the third quarter. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. I wish he let him go.
But this kind of happens to the Warriors a lot. We've seen Steph not play third quarters when he's scored 50. Klay the same when he had that 60. He didn't play the fourth quarter. So they almost get to the point where they're so good that they can't actually break these records unless they make it so obvious.
There's a close game.
Yeah. That they're going after these records. So I think it's the gentlemanly thing. What Steve Kerr mainly did was like, okay, we've got the record now. We'll just close the game out.
I do love with Klay when we look back on his career, it's just going to be like a bunch of numbers that you think of. It's going to be 37 for the 37 points in one quarter. It's going to be the 60 for the 60 in 29 minutes. It's going to be now 14 until Curry probably breaks it, and then Klay takes it back.
0 dribbles.
Yeah.
Yes, that too. So
Oh, he had a pull-up dribble,
Yeah,
a pull-up three.
It is,
That was strange.
It is wild, but I wish he let him go for just 5 more minutes just to see what he could have done. All right, Trey, next one.
Well, it's not quite Goldberg's streak, but after last night's win against the Kawhi-less Raptors, the Milwaukee Bucks are the only undefeated team left in the NBA. They're 7-0. They won without Giannis last night, and they're top 10 so far on both sides of the ball. Guys, true or false? The Bucks are the East's best team.
Whoa.
It's true based on what they've done so far. Unbeaten, 7 games in.
Based on the standings?
Based on the standings, but they have had a fairly soft schedule so far. I mean, teams that they've beaten are the Pacers, the Knicks, the Hornets, the Sixers on a back-to-back when Ben Simmons wasn't there, and the Raptors last night, obviously without Kawhi.
Heavy home schedules.
But you know what? For the Bucks, this is what they needed to see early on. When they brought in Mike Budenholzer, they wanted to see a change from what they got from Jason Kidd, and their offense is looking really, really good so far. Spreading the ball out, getting a lot of three-pointers, and then scoring inside and allowing Giannis, when he's playing, to go inside and dominate. So I think based on what we've seen in this very, very small window, they are the best team, but things are going to get a little bit more testy for them when they go out on the road and they have a tougher road streak to see if that game plan and that style of play will hold up. But so far it has.
Yeah, watching them, I kind of agree that they've sort of had a soft schedule, but then you look at it, they're sort of middle of the pack, their strength of the schedule, and you just beat the teams that are put in front of you. And you look around the Eastern Conference, I mean, that's basically as tough as it gets with the schedule that you mentioned. They're a new team, they're a new style. Mike Budenholzer, definitely Coach of the Year running. They're shooting 40 threes a game. That's an astonishing number. They're second in the league. Just all of a sudden, all right, we're shooting as many threes basically as the Houston Rockets. Yeah. They're not going anywhere. I think the style of play is perfectly suited for them. I think their ceiling, though, is probably the third best team. I think they still are behind Toronto and Boston. And that third, well, Homer, they won 59 games last year, sir, and they ain't going anywhere.
I'm with him, though. I don't know if they're the best team in the East, but they've proven to me after 7 games, I don't care who they've played, that they are better, I think, than the Sixers and then the Pacers, because it felt like those were the other teams after what was the Raptors and the Celtics sort of being 1-2.
Yeah.
The other point
and
we got to point out
both of them.
Yeah, no Giannis, of course, for the Bucks, no Kawhi resting for the Raptors, but the Raptors were also without OG Anunoby, their obviously very solid wing defender, and Van Vliet, their best guy off the bench, in the running for 6th man last year. That would be, to me, the equivalent of the Bucks playing without, like a Brogdon, who's a great defensive player, and an Ilyasova, who's their best guy off the bench. Obviously got the start last night because of no Giannis. So, I mean, these 2 teams weren't stacked. They weren't ready to go yet. I hope we get to see them when they're at full term here with both squads. But, yeah, they've proven the way they're playing with Bud, it's all layups or dunks, or it's threes. And that's what he did with the Hawks, where he tried to implement, and it's working so far. So, to me, they're top 3 easily.
Yeah, and I said Simmons wasn't playing. They were playing on a back-to-back. Simmons didn't play the night before when they played Philadelphia, but still, it was an important win.
Hey, way to keep us honest.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that to slow us down, but you did it anyway. I'll slow it down. They had 7 players who hit 2 threes or more yesterday. That's a ridiculous number. That's just going to help Giannis get some space when it comes to postseason time. I'm looking forward to Giannis potentially winning a playoff series for the first time in his career.
Huge stretch coming up, though, on the road. They play the Celtics, the Blazers, the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. I mean, if they are 10-3 after, we get like 13 games in here, then we'll really be talking about them. All right, final one, Trey.
Oh, you didn't know the Kings are over 500? You better call somebody, because last night's win in Miami moved Sacramento to 4-3 on the year, with every win coming against a 2018 playoff team. They're fast. They're fun. True or false? The Kings are back!
True. We're talking about them.
Kings are back,
on
baby.
the starters. That's solid. That's a good start. I mean, they're 4-3. This is the first time they've been over 500, this far into a season since like 2014. This is good. They're playing fast, super, super fast. Which is good. They got young guys, and Fox leading that team. Willie Cauley-Stein in a contract here. Bielitsa stretching the floor a little bit. Buddy Hield hitting shots. They're entertaining, which is, to me, means they're back, because at least you'll be tuning in to watch them on League Pass, because that's a big win in Miami last night for them.
Yeah, the last time we talked about them was basically draft time, when you look back at their season and Zach Randolph had led their team in scoring at 14 points per game. That's not a good sign.
And they were dead last in pace last season. They have completely flipped it around.
Yeah, now they're up to second. I remember previewing them this year, and we talked about how many guys are going to break out. How many are the young guys are going to break out? And I made the very cool joke of saying maybe an adult pimple breakout where you get one pimple, but not a teenage acne thing.
Where everything where it spreads.
Yeah, let's not jump to conclusions here that of a sudden that all these first-round picks are going to work out. That would be a little extreme, but I think we've seen two guys sort of reach close to their potential. De'Aaron Fox, as we saw, and Willie Cauley Stein.
And Dave Yeager has said De'Aaron Fox is the future of this franchise, and he's tried to open up the floor so that he can exploit his pace and get inside and score those layups. If he can become a better three-point shooter, then it really opens things up for him. But good thing about the Kings, they're spreading it around. 6 players average double figures right now. So they don't have that one standout guy they're relying on every night, getting contributions from everybody. And someone like Iman Shumpert, who's a veteran, who's been around, giving them some good help as well. So things are looking good. Their defense is holding up, but it's going to test them as well. Now the teams are going to be a bit more expecting.
Will we be talking about the Kings when we get into
fast.
November?
Yeah.
That is the real question.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. Lots more still to come on the show tonight. In fact, when we come back, the Jet has landed. Jason Terry is in studio. We'll talk to the Jet next. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the show. Happy to have NBA champion, a man who scored nearly 19,000 points, a man who is third all-time in threes made. Jason Terry with us. Thanks for coming on, Jet.
Thanks for having me. First time, baby. I'm a rookie. After 19 years, I'm a rookie again.
19 seasons in the league. And we want to talk to you about a lot of things. We thought the best way to do it is a game we call Lock It In. It's simple. Give you some statements. All right. If you agree, you hit that button. If not, we'll talk it out. All right?
Sounds good.
First one is perfect because Clay went off yesterday. So let's see if you lock this one in. Clay and Curry are the best three-point shooters of all time. You going to lock that in?
Well, I'm third all time, so it's hard for me to. But
There we go.
they'll pass me by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
These two are phenomenal. First of all, Curry has unlimited range. Klay Thompson has pure shooter's form, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Every time he shoots the ball, you think it's going in.
All right, so you're keeping it real here.
Yeah,
even though you're third all time.
100%.
Yeah.
Won't be long, though. They will pass me.
It's wild. You're true. They're going up that list. All right, so next one. You said you played 19 seasons.
Yep.
Played for a lot of different teams. Played with a lot of different guys. Is Dirk the best player you've ever played with, though? Do you lock that in?
Oh, wow. Really locked in.
Because you have played with some really talented other guys. Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett, Jason Kidd. Then young guys like Harden and Giannis even in the mix. But Dirk, you say?
No doubt about it. Dirk transcended the game from a basketball perspective. The stretch four, he really invented that position. You know, he's the only guy that can take you out there behind the three-point line, still post up inside. So he was very versatile. But I just watched that guy work every single day, playing alongside of him. He and I, my time in Dallas, had the best two-man game in basketball. Second only to John Stockton and Karl Malone. There you go.
I love it.
So I locked him in, Dirk, for sure.
Okay. 19 years in the books. Not saying you're done by any means, but I think with this next statement, I think, yeah, we can say this. You should have made an all-star team, because I don't think you're making one in the future. No offense. Are you going to lock it in? You should have made an all-star team?
That's called. 100%. Now, I have to lock that in.
Lock that in. You should have made it. You should have made it.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Now, what? Okay, so
Which year?
What year do you think was the year you got?
Any year in Dallas, I should have made it. Obviously, I could have been Sixth Man of the Year any of those years. But for me, it was about team success, one, and then I was the second best player on the team in those years in Dallas. So, but I was in the Western Conference, which is still tough now. And I played the guard position. You're talking about guys, Tony Parker back then.
Kobe,
Steve Nash. There really was no room for myself, but I always considered myself an all-star.
And you had some big scoring years, too, even before you got to Dallas. You were like a 20-point-per-game scorer in your Hawks days and stuff like that,
20 points a game. My highest average in Dallas was 19. Okay, that was the year. And then, the year I really should have made it.
Here we go.
When it was in Dallas.
Yeah.
I argued with David Stern, too. I told him, man, I don't care I didn't get voted in. That's cool. But you're the commish. Put me in.
Okay.
And didn't get in.
Okay.
But it's all good.
This next one's a fun one. 2016, November 2016. Did you trick J.R. Smith on purpose when you were talking to him up in the corner? Do you want to lock that in, or is that not on purpose? It wasn't
That's
planned?
the one I will not lock in. I refuse.
Okay, I think we have the. I think we have the clip. Yeah. So this is the infamous JR where he sees you and he comes and says, hi, what's up?
The game is going on right now.
Yeah.
This is a live play.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't play 1 minute of that game, but I led the team in assists. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Well, you didn't play, like, you didn't play in that.
Did not play in that game.
Okay.
But that was the biggest play, and then we got back in the locker room, all the guys were like, man, that was great. Social media was going crazy.
Oh, it's so funny.
But it was all genuine.
Yeah.
Nothing planned, nothing scripted. It was
Just
all
saying
organic.
what's up. All right.
Just saying what's up to a good friend.
All right, next one. One pair of socks is never enough. You gonna lock that in?
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
100%. I've been wearing 4 pairs of socks my entire career. Still wear the same shoe size. That's what people think. They're like, well, you got 4
Yeah, you
pairs of
didn't have
shoes,
to
you're
go up
size
half a
11. You
size?
got to go up like 2 sizes? No. Me, I don't like feeling the bottom of the shoe, like when you're banging on the stop and goes.
Yep.
Right.
And so, hey, more cushion, the better.
And does that only apply to basketball shoes, or are you rocking like 3 dress socks right
The
now?
hard bottoms, no way.
No way. Okay.
I don't even got on socks right now. Don't tell nobody.
Okay, a couple more here. Your tattoos can predict the future. Do you lock that in?
Depends what time of the day it is. Depends what season it is and who
Okay.
I'm playing for. But we do know, history has it, that I have one tattoo that guaranteed
There it is.
a championship
Yeah.
victory.
That was a legendary move.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
100%. I'll never forget that moment. But there is a second, and that's the one that I'll go down in history for too. Oh, there it is.
The
I was
internet
on the
doesn't
beach
forget.
with my wife in Hawaii.
And you decided,
And
no,
I
I'm
was,
doing it
but
again.
I was so excited. I'm going to play with Paul Pierce,
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett, Rondo. These guys are champions. I'm going to put that Celtic uniform on. Doc Rivers is drawing up plays for me.
Yep.
And it just didn't come to fruition.
Right.
But I'm a Celtic for life, man. Every time I go back to Boston, they just love me, no matter what team I play for. And so I'll always be a Celtic deep down inside.
Did you show the guys that for inspiration? Like, hey, look at
Right.
that. Look at that tattoo. We're winning this
And I
thing.
forgot who I was talking to because KG, they can care less. You crazy as hell. You know, yeah. Scott here. What is he doing? So, tough day for me.
All right, last one for you here. Your career isn't over. You gonna lock that in?
Lock it. Boy, you see these abs, the core work.
Still
is
putting in
good.
that work?
Still putting in work every single day. Right now, Jermaine O'Neal and I run a program over at Drive Nation, which is his baby. He's over the boys' side, I'm over the girls. So after I train my girls, I go out and do my own workout. So I'm still in great physical conditioning. But for me, mentally, I am taking that next stage. I'm going out. I went over to Georgia Tech today, watched my good friend Josh Pastner coach his guys up. So I'm getting some on-the-job training. May go into coaching, may do a little
I
broadcasting.
was going to say, you can do a little bit of
But
this,
if
too.
the right team calls, I'll come out of retirement and shoot threes like Klay Thompson.
And get a tattoo for that, too.
Depends what team.
Gently,
I'll get that Warriors tat.
yeah, no
100%.
doubt. We can't thank you enough, man, for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate
when
it.
we come back, Adrian, are you up or down on the Sixers' new Rocky-inspired jerseys? We'll debate that and more. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters right into the up-down report. Got a few for you guys here. Let's see those thumbs on Twitter. Hashtag the starters. First one, as discussed a little earlier, we slipped in there. Kawhi Leonard didn't make the trip to Milwaukee last night in order to rest. It was already the second time this season that the Raptors forward has been kept out of one game at least in a back-to-back set. He previously missed the second game of a back-to-back in Washington. So I want to ask you guys, are you up or down on Kawhi's this resting hurting his MVP chances? Yep. Yeah. Oh. No. You think it helps it maybe?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily helps. I don't think it detracts too much. If he misses maybe 5 or 6 games throughout the season, I think that's still going to give him enough to win. It's really going to come down to whether or not the Raptors have a record close to last year. I think they won 59 as a franchise record. And if Kawhi is the dominant player that he's been in the games that he's played so far, I think it's okay to miss up to about 10 games through rest.
But he's not in good favor with voters, and if they've got 12 sets of back-to-backs. If he misses one game of each of those, like he has so far, I think he's done in MVP voting because there's other guys to vote for, and you're basically saying you're going down to 70 games. He's the only guy in the league who's doing this.
For now.
Yeah, if it changes, sure.
Yeah.
But at this point, it looks like he's going to miss a dozen games because they have 12 sets of back-to-backs.
Yeah, and like Tass is saying, that can end up being a lot of games when you have, right now, probably 6 solid MVP candidates. When it gets to the end of the season and one guy's played 8 fewer games than another player, that's going to factor into it.
All right, next one here, guys. The Philadelphia 76ers unveiled their new City Edition uniforms today. And the design is inspired by the gray sweatsuit worn by Rocky Balboa in the original film. And you can note here that there's no letters on the front. It's just the stars and then the numbers. So are you guys up or down on the Sixers' new Rocky jerseys? Okay.
Down?
I actually think the jerseys look great, but Rocky loses in the first Rocky. Maybe you should have picked Rocky too. Doesn't he win in that?
Yeah, I think he
Rocky loses in the first Rocky.
What are you saying? The Sixers are going to lose in the first round?
Controversial. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. It would have been better if he won. Okay. Let's go back to the scorecards.
Do you like the look of them though?
They look amazing. They look amazing.
I'm usually down on grey jerseys and uniforms, but I'm going to give this one a chance. Wait till you see them out on the court. They tend to look different from the photo shoot to the court.
They do.
And these ones are very well designed. So yeah, I'll give them a chance.
I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Give me a heather gray anything, and I love it. Now, this may be dumb of me, but I also see heather gray, and I think it's going to get darker and sweatier. But obviously, it's synthetic. It's not a cotton material. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like.
But they look.
I was gonna say maybe my pit stains right now. I got a gray shirt. I don't know if you want to get shot. I don't even know if I have them right now.
I definitely do.
Yeah, see, there they are. There they are. That's what happened. This isn't synthetic. One more thing though with this whole Rocky thing. My favorite part. Did you see the T.J. McConnell in a meat locker?
Oh, what?
Yeah. They really leaned into the Rocky theme here with these.
Where's his jersey?
It's underneath his sweatsuit there, I guess. All right, let's hear from you guys. You like those jerseys?
I like that meat locker.
Did you like that photo of a meat locker? You can email us, our producer, Matty O, at thestarters@nba.com.
He liked it.
Renee Young has hooked us up with some tickets to SmackDown tonight, so we asked you, what's a starters wrestling sign we can take to the show? You hit us up on Twitter. Trey, you got a few answers.
Yeah, some really good ones, actually. MJ says, I want my Crossfire rematch. I love it. I also like this from Randy Savage Garden. We got 2 words for you. Swish bomb.
I like that
one. My favorite comes from Sam, who says, what's happening in the basketball we should be watching right now? Might get on TV with that one.
Thank God for DVR. All right, tonight's pick and play. Oh, Wizards, Grizzlies. Everybody has given up on the Washington Wizards. Everybody taking the Grizzlies at home. Goodness gracious. Lee, VSSP.
Yeah, it had to come from Klay Thompson, of course. He got himself a boomerang on top of the 14 threes last night. It's a beauty. It's in the corner. Not only is it a 3-ball, it's a swish. That's what I call a very solid play.
That game had it all, including a pigeon. Watch this pigeon. It goes up on top of the backboard and doesn't want to come down. It wants to stay perched. And look what it says on top of the backboard here. This pigeon is perched on a backboard that's sponsoring Angry Birds.
Angry Birds 2.
Oh,
unbelievable.
So many birds.
Drop Podcast is up and available to download. Thanks to the Jeff for swinging by. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll see you on SmackDown. Praise the night, people.